I know. Good morning.
Buongiorno.
Good morning. We haven't been together in a long time, financial times. Now, what I want to talk about is
What do you
like
wanna talk about?
now that the season of spending is upon us, how do you not get caught up in it? And how do you make any kind of budget? Because everything is so appealing. Yesterday, I was in a store and the smell was so good. Like, I thought, oh my God, I really need these cinnamon pine cones. And when you get them home and there's not like 70 bags of cinnamon pine cones, it doesn't have the same impact. But it like took
That's why they do
every
that.
it took every bit of my control, and I don't always have so much of it, to not buy these cinnamon pine cones. So if you are trying to like control your money,
The interesting thing that you said, I don't want to cut you off, but before I forget my thought,
Okay.
you got to define the difference between need and want. You said you needed these pine cones. You didn't need those pine cones.
Right.
The biggest mistake that people make, and I'm talking about people that make $25,000 a year and $25,000 a month, is they live beyond their means. They spend more than they make. So this becomes an issue of budgeting and understanding. And the biggest thing, especially when we do retirement planning, is people don't even know what they spend. They don't know where their money goes. Money is like oxygen. It fills the room, and you tend to use whatever's in it. So whatever you make, if you make $50,000 a year, then you tend to live up to that standard of living and a little bit beyond. And if you make $500,000 a year, you also tend to spend up to that oxygen in that room, that limit. I know people that make 7 figures a year and still spend everything that they make because they live in a big house and they drive a nice car. Living beyond your means is the biggest thing that crushes people in society.
Right, but if that's like where your fun is, like
need
going
to-
out to eat with other people, shopping, getting new things, staying current,
Right.
like that's where my fun is. So how do you not get caught up in it?
Right. So especially in today's society, we're people, especially Americans, of needing/wanting things,
Yeah.
and the ability to access debt and put things on credit cards. But we live in a very experiential economy, so there's a lot of things that you spend money on that are expensive. Travel, you go out to a dinner. You can't go out for dinner at any place, for
$50.
even if you go to Chipotle now, it's the average price per meal. I was going through this with my son. It used to be like $4 or $5. Now you can't even go out to Buffalo Wild Wings for less than $20 a person. So it's getting expensive. Things are getting expensive. You have to budget. It comes down to a budget of money. There are certain required expenses that you have to run your life. What it costs you to live, whether it's a mortgage or a rent. What's it cost you to pay your taxes? What does it cost you to put the electricity on? What does it cost you if you think that internet connectivity is a necessity? You put that into the necessity bucket.
Right.
What you have to do is understand what what's called the discretionary spend is.
Okay, so let's say.
So you gotta allocate yourself a certain amount of money.
Overwhelming.
No, it's not. It's an issue of math. You got to sit down with either a napkin or a piece of
really
paper
loved
or an
math
Excel
anyway.
spreadsheet.
It's
Math doesn't.
overwhelming.
Yeah, but
There's
math,
an emotional part of this.
No, but math doesn't lie. Once in a while, you got to stop yourself and, like the musical chairs of life, take a seat and write this down. What is my discretionary spend? To talk about those things that you need/want. Need is not discretionary. Need is you have to have it. Paying for your kids, or paying for your.
Right, but let's say even though you do that, you feel this pressure to buy people gifts and not give them this much money or not give them that much money. Like, I know what you're saying. It's all well and good, like on paper. But so, like, let's say you have $30 a day to spend in discretionary money.
Fun money.
Goes like that. And then let's say,
Yeah, but the reality-
you get invited to these parties and you have to give this amount. That's what's like the acceptable
But you
amount
got to
of
be
money
clever.
for a wedding.
You got to be clever about it.
Okay.
You got to be clever about what you're spending on. You can't substitute thoughtfulness for money. Let's take the example of going to somebody's house. You very easily bring a $50 bottle of wine if you're going to go to somebody's house because
Right.
they've been gracious enough to invite you over. You need to rest reciprocity to reciprocate on some level.
Right.
And you want to balance that scale a little bit.
Right.
But you got to be clever. Do something a little bit thoughtful. If you took an extra half an hour, you might be able to cellophane wrap a handmade dish of brownies that took you $2 and maybe an extra foot. The problem is we don't have the time to do those things, so we replace that with money. People that have the money, again, spending that oxygen money that you possibly have. You know, some people don't have those means, so they're forced to be thoughtful. Think about the card that you got from your kid when he was 4. The child had no money. The importance of that card written with the crayon, a stick figure hugging their mother, is way more important than the kid being able to drop a $50 bottle of wine on somebody 20 years later because he can afford it.
Okay, so this
It's a
is our
thoughtfulness issue.
budget tip, but this is our
It's
budget.
not a budget tip.
This is
It's not a
our
finance-
budget. This is our budget tip.
But this is emotional
Thoughtfulness.
finance. This is emotional
Well,
finance.
everything's emotional with me.
Some people are much more emotional than others, but you can't continue. You're lucky enough to the ability to be able to throw money at things to fill those lack of time that you have, right?
Okay.
Discretion. If I got a free Friday night, we could do a couple of things. We could stay home and watch Netflix for $11 a month, or we can go to the fancy movie theater and drop $25 a ticket. People with money have options. That's the difference with the people who don't. They can decide what they want to eat every night. But putting a budget, just understanding, just keep things in control as we go into the holiday season. To put things in perspective. Don't replace thoughtfulness. Slow your life down. You'll spend less money if you spend time with both the people that you care about and catering to being thoughtful about what you're doing. That's the budget. Find out what this. You still need to do. The math doesn't lie. My favorite line is math never lies. You still need to put down on a piece of paper what my basic expense. When I do retirement planning, I have to put. People come to me all the time and say, "I don't know if I can retire. I don't know if I'm 5 years from retirement or 15 years from retirement, or I can retire right now." Until you put that budget together to figure out how much money we have, what I could spend out of that, because my life expectancy, the average life expectancy for a couple in today's society, based on actuarial tables and technical information, is one of the two spouses is going to live to 92 years old. You need to understand that budget, you're going to have money, because the biggest thing you don't want to do and go back and rely on your kids to support you is not to outspend your money. And without putting a budget together in the big picture of things, in the retirement example, and the little picture of things, knowing that I shouldn't spend $50 on that bottle of wine. You would you know when you spend the last couple of days before a holiday, whether it's Jewish holidays, whether it's Christmas, if you're scrambling because the time has been sucked out of your week, you tend to spend more money. You're going to go to the mall and drop $50 on a bracelet when you could have spent $25 if you spent a little more time looking for it. Time and money are very correlated. But the bigger picture in life, from a financial point, is like, slow down. Don't move so quickly. Take time. Because when the merry-go-round is spinning, you don't see the beautiful, pretty faces on the horses. When the merry-go-round slows down, you get to see it. So financially speaking, slow down. Slow down your life, especially in the holiday season when things tend to get so crazy because you're trying to get so much done because you're running out of clock. It's like the 24-second shot clock in basketball. And just so happens to be 24th of December is Christmas, so let's use that as sort of our stick in the sand. Jewish holidays around the same thing. You got a 24-second clock, a 24 December
Right.
clock,
That's
and
right.
everybody is spending, and that's why we overspend at the holidays. And our society allows us to go into debt because everybody's carrying around plastic. Because who uses money anymore? How much money do you have in your pocket? Probably not that much in cash.
I don't have too
It's
much
plastic,
cash.
right?
I have a lot of
it's
euros
a
right
black
now
card
because
or
I
a blue
can't get
card
rid
or a
of
green
them.
card, right? Now, depending on your place in society, we have different color cards, which is even crazier.
So,
we're Americans and we're crazy.
enjoy-
You just came back from Europe. My daughter's. It's a completely different mindset over there. Everybody's slowing down. We think they're nuts.
Okay, so
Anyway.
now that Kolsnick General Store has real glasses to have real coffee,
I'm still in paper. Bad
he's
for the.
still in paper, bad for the economy.
No,
What-
bad for the ecology.
But bad for the
green.
bad
It's
for,
not green.
oh, it's good for the economy, but bad for the ecology. Anyway, what the message today is: slow down, smell the coffee, enjoy the season, and be thoughtful. And most important, I would love if you shared thoughtful gifts so that my other
Great
coffee,
idea. That's-
watchers can know what some thoughtful gifts that you did. One of the things that I do is I love secondhand shopping. So when I go to a secondhand store, I buy these beautiful plates for like $1 or $2. I actually don't do the baking myself. I just go to the bakery and get them.
But that's thoughtful.
I put it together, and usually the plate that I get reminds me of the person that I'm giving it to. Not that I'm pushing any store, but I'll tell you one thing: the little cupcakes at Walmart are really delicious, and they go great on these platters. And sometimes I even
Looks
ice
great,
them
too.
myself. They look great. So have a great day. I'd love to know your most thoughtful tip for staying on a budget by giving a personal gift for this season. I'll be talking about this more. It's so good to see you again. See you soon. Bye.